Hey, can I ask a few questions?
Sure.
So I mean, in a sense, it's also an explanation of why we're doing this special. How did it start? Well, it started pretty much the same way that Peter Greenaway and that Dutch curator, remember the name, came up with the exhibition on the great Russian avant-garde. Um, that we're all sort of nostalgic, puzzled, fascinated by what happened a century ago in Russia. It's just amazing. I mean, in the visual arts, you had Malevich, you had Tatlin. In poetry, you had Mayakovsky, Khlebnikov. You had ballet, classical music, novels. I think Bellis, Petersburg is one of the great novels of the century. And of course, cinema, Eisenstein, Vertov. So it was diversity, it was radical, and it was unique. So my question is really, what is unique about Russian art today? But before, do you have a theory why that happened? I mean, why a century ago Russia, not Paris, not Berlin, not London, why Russia had this incredible multitude of diverse and radical um, uh, art?
Who is going to answer to this question?
Well, Natasha? I think it's important that any like the new ideas in philosophy in society always bring the inspiration to the artists. So the beginning of the 20th century was an exciting moment in the history. I mean, with all this turmoil and I mean, there was a lot of innovation. So the artists really responded to it. Some of them in a political manner, some of them in an artistic manner, but I think that's one of the reasons, because they responded to the society and to the changes.
Also, it was important, I think, the revolution, not because it was good or bad, but it was the pale of settlement for Jews, and many artists were able to live in the cities and be the part of the artist community. That's, I think, played one of the factors. In the Tsar Russia, they have to Jews has to be live outside the city with a very small exception.
I see. Okay, how unique is Russian art today? Why ask this question? Because if I go back to a century ago, Russian art was not only so vibrant, but it was unique. And what Malevich did was really, really different from what Western Europeans were doing. So, how unique is Russian art today, and in which way?
It's very difficult question, but I would like to remember the words of curator Ralph Rugov, who once referred to a well-known Chinese saying, "God forbids us from living in an era of change." Nobody wanted such change like Russia had during this century. And maybe Malevich predicted this revolution. And it's a very difficult question, but Peter Greenway explained to the Russian audience what was the revolution for the artist, because the golden age of Russian avant-garde, it was a project which criticized a lot of my friends who are specialists of Russian avant-garde. Because for them it's a beautiful period with some brilliant artworks, but they forgot that it's what a tragedy for this person, because they dream to the new era, to the new state were crashed, and our beautiful story, because the Russia not calm and some tragedy burns some brilliant idea, maybe, I don't know. But what about the contemporary art in Russia? It's very interesting question, because when before the beginning of this war, the situation was normal with art, but we felt the censorship, but we could to do something new with media art, with a new idea. It was like play with liberation person. And now I feel that a lot of beautiful artists left Russia, and maybe it will be something new. Maybe some new ideas will born in the kitchen of in Russia, and another new idea will born in outside of Russia. I know a beautiful artist. It's my advice to see this mapping diaspora. There are a beautiful project of Andrei Kuskin or Ksenia Petrukhina or Mikhail Durnenkov, Dmitry Krymov. They left Russia, and now they no stop. They continue to work and continue to do new work with deep feeling, with new tragedy.
Yeah, I think
Also,
it's important not to forget that we had 70 years of dictatorship and censorship. That's one of the factors. Sorry to interrupt, Elena.
no, I just wanted to say I started to go to Russia in the 90s, but I worked in the 90s in the Bauhaus, and we had the Australian, many Russian artists coming in. The sense of innovation and curiosity was always on such a high level. And look at Sci-Fest, I mean, it was really such a wonderful just to walk into exhibitions. They were always just getting in some of the newest.
It was the era of fresh air, not only in Russia, but in all Soviet bloc, post-Soviet bloc, in Hungary and Polish and
maybe
in
you noticed it more because of the contrast with other, other more conservative movements.
Let me ask you.
90s years, it was like third avant-garde. For me, the first avant-garde, it was on the beginning of the 20th century. The second avant-garde, it was after the Second War, when it was the second emigration, and it was the censorship, and the artist participated in the kitchen exhibition. It was the closed art, yes. And 90s, it was like art fresh, and it was the third avant-garde for Russian culture, with a deep influence of media art. And for my opinion, it was the inspiration from a source center, from different country, from different persons who didn't dare to come to Russia. Yes, because on the beginning of 90s, I remember that Katie Rai Hoffman font there wasn't the email, only fax and phone. She called different person, and some from them refused to come to Russia. It's very dangerous. It's not for us now. But Woody, Stein, Handy, Peter, Weibel, another person agreed and gave us new possibilities and new ideas. But like Katie Hoffman wrote in your article, media art plus Russian avant-garde plus experiments of kinetic art, the movement, the движение movement made the beautiful effect. And in the 90s, it was the beginning of the net art, and Alexei Shulgin and Oля Lyalina were the stars of net art. Like text and visual and past and new ideas combined but from the beginning of the 21st century, it was a new era, and they opened a lot of festivals. But I felt another energy, and it was low energy, because person feels this new way to the propaganda, to the censorship, etc., etc.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question
like...
about the intelligentsia.
Uh-huh.
So so Anna was mentioning censorship and so on, but so the intelligentsia was very influential, no, in the past. I mean, even the fact that there was such harsh censorship on musicians, filmmakers, and so on, in a sense, it was because they were considered important. I mean, Stalin in person was going to listen to Shostakovich and watch movies and right. So, what's the role of the intelligentsia today in Russia?
But you know what Piotrowski made? It's awful. It's for me, it's my personal tragedy, because I worked in the state museum, and I waited that everybody said something. Yes, intelligence. But a lot of people affirmed the letters against yes, and these people left Russia. And another person now continue working. Maybe it's they doesn't see another way. It's difficult. It's very difficult, because we know the process with Berkovich, with another person from intelligence who can't to have the silence and it's possible to be calm, to be как это сказать? To be without words, yes, to be silent.
Well, unfortunately, answering your question, unfortunately, it looks like the Russia is sliding back. In 90s, this was a great time period, because everyone was influenced by the potential freedom. Right now, we get getting censorship again. I mean, most of the intelligentsia, unless someone have like old parents or some other factors, they left Russia. That's actually what Olga's project is about. Diaspora. I'm not sure I'm absolutely clear on your question, Piero, about intelligentsia. What do you want to know? Like, do they feel the same now as they felt?
Yeah, so first of all, how they feel and their role in society, but also how society sees them. Because my impression is that in the past, even during the communist era, society was looking up to the intelligentsia. That's why we call them intelligentsia. They are a class that was somehow important in defining the mood of the country.
Well, I'm not sure. It depends where you come from. I mean, it's definitely not the same as it was in the Soviet times. I think the factor with after 90th, when the country got divided financially, like most of the money was in Moscow, the younger generation grew up respecting not the intelligentsia and books and knowledge, but money. I don't know if Olga agrees with me.
At the beginning of the 20th century, it was the ideology, but now not.
But in all the area, not only Russia, but in Central and East Europe, for example, I mean, the changes are so big and up and down in one's lifetime. You know, it's not that 3 generations before. In one's lifetime, you go. I thought that I'm from Budapest. I thought I go back, and I worked a lot in the Central and East Europe, and now it's getting difficult. And I presume that you are even more aware of that.
Yeah, that's why we left. I won't go back, and Olga is left her post at Pushkin Museum and went to Venice.
Yeah.
Well, it's sad, but anyway, we cannot change it from here.
Well, on a positive note, I think the media art and the technology as an instrument in our case might be different from the previous art forms. It's no doubt that there always were good artists, but because of the 70 years of censorship and not communication, we basically lost those years. But media artists, I think, is different.
And what do you think? I mean, I work with some young up and coming artists who are now really involved more and more with digital arts, digital tools, and so forth. I don't know whether that provides more freedom or more dependence on tools. But I wonder what do you think in Russia? How is this going to evolve?
Well, the tools, technical tools. First of all, it's a very fine line between entertainment and art, in my opinion, and you have to respect this line if you want to be on the art side. It's very popular right now, and actually, it's the part of the propaganda, as far as I understand. The current situation with the war, with the current intelligentsia and artists are leaving to the West or to the East, this matter, we're all over. It might produce new generation of young artists that stayed inside Russia. So I don't know, but that would be my guess. But they won't be able to communicate with outside.
But wouldn't they come and exhibit or not? Is it difficult now?
First of all, it's difficult to travel. It's possible, but it's very difficult. There's no Facebook, no Messenger, unless you jump over the API. So it's really not good.
Yeah. Piero, what about?
I'm done with my question.
You have done with the questions. Do we have
done
any?
With my question.
Do we have any people in audience who have any questions, or they are gone by now?
No, but
They had some compliments, and then my friend Robert is asking something from Natalia, but maybe it's better if I just put them in touch
Yeah.
by email.
But to me, it seems now it's the right time to actually to educate people what was happening during the avant-garde movement, during the conformist movement, and also look at the history of the media art as well. So that's the right time actually to create and to participate into international exhibitions.
Well,
Because
there's a big
we
story.
need audience, and we need the audience. That's why I'm really happy that I mean we like we and also Anna France, we all like American based organizations are reaching out to different American institutions, and actually we are in dialogue with them, and we are planning the other exhibitions both on media and combination like on hybrid forms, the media, paintings, sculptures, kinetic objects. I think that's important part of dialogue, which all of us, which we need to participate and to continue.
Yeah, it's no difference in material you make the artwork with. It can be paints or it can be programming.
And younger artists, or not younger artists, or older artists, when you do your next Sci-Fest, like in Yerevan, are they able to come and bring their artwork there and participate in the festival?
In Yerevan, yes, it's really easy to come. It's direct flights, and it's I forgot what it's called. It's called Customs Union. The like Belarus, Russia, Armenia, I think Georgia, they're in one unit.
Let's see.
But I get lots of messages from artists who work with media from all over the world. Like an hour before our meeting, I got a message from some guy with a project who relocated to Mexico City.
Yes. Mexico, Argentina.
Yeah.
As in from inside, I can say that the big project is closed now, most of them, and like Olga said, that very, very not popular but common small exhibition, the kitchen exhibition or something like that, like or some corridor exhibition for young artists. It's still alive, but the big project is not.
No, that's why I was thinking it was important for me just to remember those times of conformist art back in the 60s and 70s, when there was like a kind of tight community of like everyone, like artists, musicians, they were all kind of united in the kitchen conversations. I think we're coming back to that.
Yes, and but in St. Petersburg, it's in spite of Moscow, it's was still alive till the now time, because it's in St. Petersburg. It's the small community of artists was very popular, and for example, the Parasite group, and other ones, they started to be together for during many years to survive, because in St. Petersburg have not so much money like in Moscow. They have no collector and etc. who can buy not. And now we come, like Natalia said, we back to this time, to the Soviet time, the kitchen conversation and kitchen exhibition. And like Anna said, that maybe we will see the new generation who grown from the kitchen tears or kitchen something like that. And as for intelligent 2 days ago, the very famous art critics that St. Petersburg's Arkady Politov, as I know, a lot of people, for a lot of people, it was really tragedy. So I think that impression or meanings are really interesting and clever and professional people, intelligent people. It's still survive. It's still need for the art community, but of course, unfortunately, most of them now it's far away.
But now the big immigration is in Paris, in French, in Berlin, in Germany, in Georgia, in Armenia. And I have just returned from Paris, and I met with a lot of artists and musicians, and they work every day, and they create something new exhibition, new performances, new media artworks. It's very interesting, and the audience, French audience, interesting in their activity, and the cultural center supports them, and try to create some condition for their work.
Danielle has a question in the QA. Let me rephrase it my way. I hope Danielle doesn't get offended. It's her question is if there's mentorship between the older Soviet Eastern European artists and the new digital, the new generation of artists. There's this connection of mentorship. And the way I rephrase it is, do the new generations of artists, the younger ones who were maybe born after 1991, do they respect the artists who struggled during the Soviet times? Do they look up to them, or do they just consider it, ignore it in a sense?
Lena, I think that's a question for you. You are the old generation artist. Do they respect? I would say no. I don't know.
No, but it all depends on the artists. I mean, right now we had quite a few retrospectives, for example, for the kinetic artists, for these artists who were like creating works in the late 60s and 70s, for like Движение and Infante, and for the Kolodzei. So there was an interest to their art practicing and actually reviewing them in a different light. So, but I think it's the most important in today's world that all the trends are valid and we learn how to coexist, not only like as a humanity, but also how to coexist as an artist. If you practiced one style, you don't have to hate the other style.
Yeah, it's not about hating the style. I think it's for want to listen.
Yeah, not hearing, yes.
No, not hearing. The younger generation, they know better. It's always have been a problem between generations, but especially with the changing in 90s, with the parents like who were respected in the Soviet time and were the, let's say, academic and artistic environment, they are not respected by their children because they don't have money, and their new ideal, like businessman, and you don't need to listen and study to make money. That's the main thing. Maybe the next generation will be different.
Okay, well, we've done 2 hours. So I thank you. I thank you all.
Piero,
Thank you so much.
We really should, because you have
Thank
done
you so much, Piero and Nina, for having us. That's really important.
thank
I'm
you.
sure
This
this is
is
just,
to see you. Thank you so much.
yeah, I'm
Thank you
sure this is just the
And
tip of the
I thank
iceberg.
all the speakers because actually I was a little bit hesitant. I am not Russian, but I have been there many times, and I really admire a lot of the art which is produced there. So I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very